And so then I came back after, I got all the revelations I needed. I got back on social media with a white beater on, and I was singing Best Part by Daniel Caesar. And I'm talking about like when I was like a prophetic worship, like I was,
Right.
I was in there,
Right,
and I
right, right. So when you stepped out of the organized religion and still believing in God and everything else that was taught, what made you step out of that? In the Christian realm or the gospel music, it's really no different than it's the same thing in hip hop. You got to do certain things to get to certain positions almost.
Yeah,
And so you're saying this is pretty much the same.
It's the same. It's the same. It's who you know, and then what you willing to do.
All right, so welcome to another episode of Elite Psyche, the Mental Toughness Show. And today this show is sponsored by Nuspira. And Nuspira is a brand new company started August 1st, 2024. Man, it's detox drink, a mushroom latte coffee, a black mushroom coffee, and also a liquid vitamin, man. And every sip counts. I tell you, every moment counts, every sip counts. All right, so let's rock and roll. My guest today is Miss Dorian Marie. Let's give her a round of applause. And I ran across her on social media. I was out, looking at videos and YouTube and stuff, and I just kind of she caught my attention, and I just kept watching everything that she was putting out, and I went through to YouTube and all kind of stuff. So I inboxed her and asked her, could she come on and we do an interview? And she said, yes, let's do it. So without further ado, let's jump out here and let's ask Dorian Marie.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Dorian Marie.
Yes.
Dorian Marie. I got to say it 3 times. Dorian Marie.
There you go, Tony.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here.
All right. So give us a quick spiel of you and like what are you doing now with the manifestation thing? I know that's something that a lot of people are kind of into, but it seems like you're more really deep into it. So give us a little snippet on that.
Okay. I am Dorian Marie. I'm the author of Finish It. As you can see, I'm not sure which side it shows up. Finish It. And it's also my clothing brand. I have a book called Let's Talk It Out, my album, my other playlist. And I also teach people how to live intuitively through manifestation and creating their desired reality, especially people that have a religious framework or religious background or even a religious foundation. So I'm in that vein of helping people create the life that they desire instead of just allowing life to be played out in ways that they don't desire.
Okay. So now when you hear manifestation, man, everybody's tossing that word around like everybody is manifesting, everybody can do this. And I'm sure there's a process that you're going to talk to us about, but what do you say when people say that, like, man, everybody is manifesting and everybody's doing this. How do you, first of all, how did you get started with the manifestation and what made you really emphasize it more out on social media?
I'm 44 years old. I've been manifesting, as people say, since I was 15, between 15 and 17. That's when I tapped into it. And I was deep in church, but it was more of walking by faith, believing God for something and having faith that it's going to be done. And then it happened. So that's when I started before it was mainstream. And when I got, my first manifestation, I've been with it ever since. So that's how I got started, by being under a leader who was about faith. Some pastors are prosperity preachers or healing. They have their, and the one that I was under, his was faith, believing God for anything. And so that's where I started.
So what's the difference in person getting up, going to work every day, working hard, and then they go buy the car of their dreams? Was that manifested, or that's just something that what's the difference in somebody doing that compared to somebody saying, the manifestation brought me this car?
Right. I think the difference is, like you said, they have a job, they have the credit, they have the money, they just go buy it. On the other end is when people don't have the means and they create it and they create the means for it to happen. If you have an excellent credit score and you make millions of dollars a year, it's nothing for you. That's not a manifestation for you. That is just, the natural order of things. You go and buy something.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're working a minimum wage job and you don't have that, and then you create it through the means that we'll probably talk about through this
Mm-hmm.
podcast. That's the difference. Is doing something that seems impossible and you're making it possible. Like my first manifestation when I was 17, that was something that seemed impossible, but I created it.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay. So I was 17 and about to graduate. Your last year of high school, you want a vehicle. I had a car.
Mhm.
It was a Buick Skylark. It was like 3 different colors of blue. And I was deep in
I haven't heard that name in a while. Skylark. Okay.
Skylark. It was a Buick Skylark with
Okay.
3 different blues all over the car, old raggedy car. But I
Okay.
was the only one in my group. I used to sing with this church group and not church group, it was just a gospel group. And I was the only one that really had a car. But I said, you know what? I want a Ford Explorer. I want a brand new 1998 champagne colored Ford Explorer with the red pinstripe on the side, the grocery net in the back, CD player, tape player, all that. I wanted all of that in this vehicle. So here it is, January. We graduate in May. And I said, by the time we graduate and by the time the church anniversary, I believe it was June 7th, I'm going to have this vehicle. And I'm 17. My parents were divorced at the time. My mom was a single mother. There was no way that I would be able to afford that. But being under this leader, talking about Abraham and having faith, I said, I'm going to do that. So that January, I got a picture of the vehicle, put it on my wall. I had a picture of my backpack because I was still in school. And I would just tell them, y'all, I'm driving my new truck to the church anniversary. People would laugh, make fun of me. Even my mom was looking at me some kind of way. Oh, girl, I don't know. And plus, I was a musician at the church at 15. I started playing in the church at 15, and I was getting paid $100 a week. So I'm just getting $400 as a teenager. Mom, single mom. It just didn't seem like that was something that happened. So I decided
Wait. You were making $400 a week. How?
$400 a month.
400.
I was a
Okay.
church.
Okay.
I
So
was a
they
church.
paid you. Okay.
Paid
Okay.
me.
$400.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I started playing at the age of 15, and they started paying me $100 a week. And so by the time I was 17, I was just making $400 a month and going to school. So I would, week after week, I would just see myself in it. I would visualize myself in it. I would talk to everybody and say, when we have this, event, I'm going to drive us. They would laugh. They would make fun. And so we got down, just to make it short, it got down to the week of. Now, those 4 or 5 months, my mom was driving me around everywhere to all the dealerships to look for this truck. And they would have it, but it was missing the red pinstripe. That's not my truck. They would have it, but it didn't have a CD player. So it got down to the last week. And that Saturday morning before the church anniversary, I got up in the bed and I heard, go get your truck. So I ran in the room and I told my mom, I said, we're going to find the truck today. We're going to find the truck today. So we went to the dealership that was right around the corner from our house. And they went to the back and they said, we have that vehicle. And they brought it out to the front. Now, when they brought it out, and not only that, during the process, I would see myself in it. I would tell people. I had a CD that I would carry around with me. It was Virtue, a gospel group. And I said, this is going to be the first CD I play when I get this truck. And so when they pulled it around, I saw it. And then there seemed to be somewhat of an obstacle. My parents were sitting there like, we don't have 1,500 down. I was just looking at them because we're not leaving this dealership until I leave in this vehicle. They figured it out. They worked it out. And I drove off the lot in that vehicle.
Wait a minute. You froze. You froze in the part between. Well, you came back on when you said, I'm not leaving this dealership. So what happened?
So they pulled it around the front and I saw it. And it seemed like there was an obstacle, because it was just me and my mom. And she was like, I don't have the full 1,500. I'm like, well, you better call daddy because we're not leaving this dealership because there's no way that I've been believing for this for 4 to 5 months. And then I see the one that we have that I want, they have it. And we're going to know.
You had to put 1,500 down?
They had to put 1,500 down.
Okay. Your mom had it. You didn't have it.
I didn't have it. She didn't have, nobody had it. She didn't have all of it. They had, she was a single mom raising
So
me.
you was just going to the dealership saying,
I'm leaving because I heard a voice tell me, go get your truck. That means that I'm not leaving here without it. So I'm sitting there just looking at her. Like, I got the CD. I'm ready to put Virtue in, whatever y'all got to do. I don't know what y'all talking about. And so then she calls my dad. My dad comes to the dealership. They work it out. get it out of somebody's college fund because I have two other sisters. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm going to get this truck. So they ended up getting the 1500, and I drove off the lot shaking because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in it. And even my so-called little boyfriend that I was going to church with, he was laughing and making fun, like, you're not going to get that truck. I drove that truck to church the next day to the church anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another bro.
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So what did that teach you? First of all, between that time, so that was a what, 6-month window?
I started in January, February, March, April, May, and then June. So like 5 months.
Okay. So in between that,
Mm-hmm.
did you have any doubts or where, I mean, you were just for sure this is going to happen. You didn't
For
wake
sure.
up one morning and think, I mean, how did you keep yourself from having doubts?
As we got closer, because it's May and I still don't have it, but I had believed, I had put myself in that truck for so long, it was hard to doubt. Because that's what manifestation is about. It's about putting yourself in that circumstance, in that situation for so long, for so many weeks, that I already had the truck. I just couldn't find it. To me, I just couldn't find it. It wasn't that I wasn't going to get it. Because, of course, when you first starting out, it feels weird. I got this truck on my wall. I'm telling my friends, they're laughing at me. I will call the dealership, 17, asking questions about what kind of motor. I don't know what I'm asking, but
Right,
I'm
right.
asking as if it's my vehicle. And I would read the catalog and say, okay, what does this feature do? Because it's my vehicle. And so there wasn't any doubt. I'm like, I just can't find it. I'm from Houston. We went to Conroe, Spring, all the wards, past the Beltway, Southwest, everywhere, and nobody had this specific truck. So now at that time, there was no doubt that I was going to get it. I just couldn't find it in my mind.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So your mentor,
Mhm.
which was your pastor,
Mhm.
okay, and so his, I don't know what the word I want to use. His specialty was manifestation. That was his, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was walking by faith, because you don't use the word manifestation in church. That's new age. So,
Okay.
yeah, manifestation was not the word, but it's the exact same thing. And that's why, when church people, religious people kind of, oppose, they think it's
Mhm.
new age, but that's because they don't read their Bible. And it's
Okay.
all in the Bible. So it was about Abraham manifested a child. I mean, it's all in there. He was a
So
man.
that word manifestation is in there.
No,
Not
the concept and the principle of manifesting is by believing that it's already yours, it's already done. That's what Abraham did. He was a man
right.
full of faith. He believed, though. Here's the thing: we talk about challenges. Sarah was 200 some years old and barren. He was old. So it looked like it couldn't happen. That's the difference versus a woman who's fertile, a man who has all the sperm in the world, and y'all having a baby. That's not a manifestation. It's when Abraham is that old, she's barren. That goes back to that question you asked me at the beginning. It's when it's an impossible situation. So he didn't preach manifestation; he preached faith.
Faith.
Yeah.
So when did you start using the term manifestation? When did you say, okay, even when you got the truck,
Hmm.
you were just saying, I walk by faith. I got this by faith. I got
I
this by
believe
faith.
God. I
I
believe God.
believe God. Are you? Yeah.
I believe
Well,
God.
did you say, won't he do it?
I didn't say won't he do it.
Okay.
I didn't talk, like, I've never been really churchy. I was just
Okay.
in the church and raised in the church, but it was won't he do it moment. It was one of those look at
Okay.
God. It was one of those look at God moments. But what it taught me, though, is that it's really not look at God. It's not won't he do it. He's already done it. It's already done. It was more so I had to take the action to make it happen. That's the difference,
And
It,
the action is visualizing it, putting it up on the wall, talking about it. Is that's
that's
the
the
action?
action. Seeing yourself in it. And I use 4 different modes. I see it, I speak it, I write it, and I feel it. What would it feel like with me being in that vehicle? And some people use all, some people use some. Like, if you're around a bunch of people that are always speaking against it, you may have to speak more. But if you're not around a lot of people like that, you're by yourself, that may not be your thing. Yours just may be writing and visualizing. But I had to speak a lot because a lot of people were speaking against me. You're 17, you don't got no job, the church don't pay you, that kind of stuff. So I use those different modes. Those are the actions. And not only that, I had to get up and go drive. I had to ask my mom, can you take me? Can you take
Right.
me? You know, if it was really, because I couldn't drive that Skylark too far. And so, mom, can you take me to Conroe? Can you take me to
Mm-hmm.
Spring? I called them. They said they have one. So the action was us getting up and doing it and, you know, making it happen.
So
Like,
I always say the eye gate, the ear gate, the mouth gate.
mhm,
Those are the three things.
yes,
You got
yes.
to see it, you got to hear it,
Mhm,
you got to speak it.
mhm. And then the one that people miss is the feeling of it, because people say stuff all the time. I'm healed, I'm blessed and highly favored. And you're like, where? How? Because you also have to like feel what it that I'm just saying that's part of it that helps bring it in, you know, faster or quicker, however you want to
What
say
you go sit in the car and feel it. We
it.
used to say, take a little jar and get the new car smell and then close it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, go
Okay.
sit in it. Yeah, and
Right,
so I
right,
was trying to get into my blue Skylark, but I was really getting into my Ford Explorer. When I would
right.
get into it and I would drive it, you know, because at first, before I was manifesting, I just drive that raggedy car. But
Mm-hmm.
when I decided I want to, I started to wash it more. I started to clean it more and treat it like
Mm-hmm.
it was my Ford Explorer. And what I was going to say earlier, it was kind of like you say, it's not just, oh, won't God do it? Abraham and Sarah still have to go have sex. They still
Right.
have to go do something. And that's kind of where, you know, people miss it. They're just waiting on God to do it.
Wow. So after 17, now, you had a music career,
Mhm.
right? You were a gospel singer.
Mhm.
You came out with what? How many albums or one
I
album?
did live recordings, praise and worship, all the things. But then I came out of that, and you asked me when did I start using the word manifestation?
Mm-hmm.
About 2 or 3 years ago. Probably a little,
Okay.
maybe a little longer than that. Maybe 2017, to be honest. 2017. I came out of the religion, institutionalized church in 2015. In 2017 is when I started this journey. Like I said.
Okay. So when you stepped out of the organized religion and still believing in God and everything else that was taught,
Mhm.
what made you step out of that and say, well, I don't need to be going to this building every Sunday or something?
Excuse me. I saw how people were being treated, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw how I was being treated, and stuff just didn't add up. I have been in church for 25 years, and my first, I don't know if I can say that word, so I'm going to say SA. Do we know what SA means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a
So
lot of people don't, but
I don't know if I should say it on I don't
you
want
can
you.
say it. You can say it.
Okay. My first sexual assault or harassment and, was when I was 15 in the church. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened to him. He got rebuked, exposed himself and everything, and it was back up ministering the next Sunday. I was married to a pastor, domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
A pastor fires me because I won't sleep with him as a musician. I get fired. Huge church. I'm a single mom, just got divorced. And I just kept seeing stuff over and over and over. And I saw how people were being treated, people being used, pastors telling me we need to capitalize on the people, on certain holidays. And I just woke up one day, actually, when I was writing my it's on this side, Let's
Mm-hmm.
Talk It Out. That was my first book. And I was in the church. It's a faith-based book. And I wanted to step down from leading worship. I've been leading worship since I was 15, 25 something years. And I wanted to tour with my book. I had an opportunity in St. Louis, California. And they were like, well, you need to be on stage leading worship. And I'm like, well, there's another worship leader here. She can lead. And so I'm going to go. And so it was a problem. So they started acting funny with me, just to be honest. They started acting funny, kind of shunning me a little bit. I've been serving, you're not paying me. you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a single mom, 2 kids. And my co-worship leader was like, you going to St. Louis? I said, yes. She said, the pastor gonna let you? I mean, what do you mean let me? Girl, and she said, well, it must be nice because he's not gonna let me take no Sundays off. I started, okay. And then I started just questioning things and started asking lots of questions. And that was a problem.
But somebody like you and what you're saying is almost like a person that gets raped or something and they start talking about it and they're like, well, you shouldn't have been at the house. You
Right.
shouldn't have done that. And it's amazing how many people take up for their pastor.
Mhm.
Since you got social media now, so all the comment section,
Right.
it's just amazing how many people will say, if you had said something like this, when you was stepping out the church or whatever, how they would just say, no, that ain't true. He's a man of God. And, You know, you've seen people that went, these people went to their grave with proof of some of the stuff that they did,
Mhm.
and you still got members of the church and it's saying,
Mhm.
no, that's, you know.
It's a
So
programming. Yeah, it's a fear-based religion. It's a programming that we've
mhm,
been programmed with, especially Black people, way since slavery. It's just a program that runs in our mind of fear. You're going to go to hell, touch not my anointed, all the things, right? And
mhm.
we hold on to that more than we hold on to a connection with, the Creator Himself. We went to, like I always say, we went from Mazda to pastor. Like our pastor is like our, slave owner, and we can't make a move unless he says something. We can't do something.
Is it because we can touch that person, and so we look at that person as the God that even though that person is not? But what do you think? What, you know? I know the programming came from that time,
Right?
but was it like that was the closest person that we saw that had power, maybe? Or
That's what I have learned, is that back in the slavery times, that teachers and pastors, even though you was a slave Monday through Saturday, on Sunday, if you were a teacher, or through the week if you're a teacher, or if you were a pastor, that's where you held position. In there's a lot of insecure men that would rather walk in that title, or walk in that role, because it gives them a title. And I know them personally. I was married
Mhm.
to one, and of course, being in that circle, you see them, you can tell that just being called pastor, it does something to them, even though they don't have a weight, they don't carry anointing. They just carry a title.
Mhm. And that's what we. So back to your music. Okay, so you did that for how long?
15, 25, over 20
No,
years.
no, I'm talking about, okay, what I consider professionally. I mean,
Oh,
after when you came out with your first song or whatever, what
okay. That was in 2019. So are you asking me, like, when did I start that? I've been doing
when did you get to a point where, because I remember you said in one of your interviews that you walked away from it because, and then when you came back, you felt like
mm,
you didn't have the success that you wanted. So
correct.
that window, what was it? Was it a 2-year window where you really was pushing your music and it didn't turn out for you? I mean, what
Mm,
made you not continue?
well, if you're talking about in the gospel
Yeah,
realm,
the gospel realm. Yeah,
I didn't continue because they wanted me to do things to be
that
on top. And
I got.
I wasn't willing to do that.
Right,
I said, I'm not, every time I go to a studio, this what I gotta do what?
right, right,
You need to
right.
do what?
So really, in the Christian realm or the
Mhm.
gospel music, it's really no different than, it's the same thing in hip hop. You got to do certain things to get to certain positions almost.
Yeah, and it's not,
And so you're saying this is pretty much the same.
it's the same. It's the same. It's who you know, and then what you're willing to do.
Hmm.
And so I choose not
As
to.
a gospel person, as a Christian person,
Yeah,
it's still that.
it's still there. It may be worse, and I think that to me it's worse, because you're doing it and still claiming they're out in the world. They're supposed
Yeah,
to,
you know what they. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's supposed to be them. But that's why when it comes to church, I just feel like it's people that gather together that have the same kind of belief. But you're just like other people too. You still lie, you still do all the things. You just go to a building with other people that have the same faith as you.
So you would say that some ladies and probably men that
Mhm.
really did some of that stuff that you refuse to do, and they're out here now.
They are. They're number one. They're on the billboards, all the things. And I've watched them. I've worked with them. I've sung with them. And
Some people could say, well, she's just angry, she didn't have success, she's just jealous, she's just, you know how people come up with those
well,
excuses when you tell the truth.
no, because a Grammy is not success. I mean, it's an accomplishment, but that does not define success to me. Success is
Mhm.
anything that I create. Success, just creating a book, just creating an album in itself is success. I don't
Mhm.
measure success like that. And not only that, I never wanted a Grammy. If I can manifest a truck, I can manifest a Grammy. I never
Mhm.
wanted to do that. I never wanted to be I want to just make music. That's it. And
Mhm.
whatever it does, it does. I create music. So me coming out of the church was not, and people will say that, oh, she was just church hurt.
Yeah.
No, I awakened to things that This is not God. God doesn't treat people like that. And when
Mhm.
you ask questions to the pastor, like, here's an example. When I like kind of the last straw, I sat myself down. Because I had just went through a divorce and all that kind of stuff. My dad, I was taking care of my dad. I sat myself down and I said, I want to go on a sabbatical. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Easter comes up and he goes, I need you back up to lead worship. I'm like, you have a worship leader. She can do it. No, I need my best worshiper leaders up there. We got to capitalize on the people. I said, what?
Capitalize on the people.
That was the first time I heard someone in that position use that word. We got to capitalize on the people because it's Easter. And that's when it just went downhill from there with me asking. I said, what do you mean? Like, this is where we're going to have our biggest crowd. I said, so we're going to put on a dog and pony show. We're going to have cotton candy in the parking lot. And we're all going to dress in our best colors and have the biggest smiles. And then next week when they come back, there's no donkey, there's no dogs, no pony, no stickers, no face paint. Everybody back to their nasty attitudes, back in
Yeah.
that, we're back to that. And he was like, hey, we just got to do what we got to do. And I didn't like that. And then even when it came to the money, I knew I was getting paid at one point as a musician. And I was like, I know what y'all doing with the money. Tithing is not required. That's a whole nother thing. And I just didn't want to be a part of the
Well, you know that tithing is not required, and the Bible says it's not required. But the people don't know that because it's funny when Creflo came out about a year ago and said that, well, they bit his head off now because he had been preaching tithing for I don't know how long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he came back and said it.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if he knew it then or he just, the consciousness came, where he came out and just said, I got to say it. But when you're saying that, are you saying that the pastor already knew that, but he didn't care?
I don't know if he knew that. I don't know if he knew it or not, but about the tithing part.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if he knew that. And I didn't even address it. That was something that was inward in me. I went to Bible college, so I have a degree in theology. And that's why I learned that in seminary, which is weird.
Oh, really?
I learned that in seminary, and most of the teachers are pastors. And I remember one of them told me, well, you can't tell the people that because them Negroes won't give. I was like,
stop it. Come on now. See, this is now I believe you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying stop it because I know the masses, the ones who are programmed and conditioned, they would say blasphemy. That's no way possible they said that. And you're saying they told you that.
Yeah, they taught me that tithing is not required in the New Testament. That's why I didn't learn that in church. I learned that in seminary, in Bible college. And so I didn't say that to him. It was just something inwardly that said, I'm looking at all these people in the audience. They're suffering financially. They're broke. They don't have anything to give. Lights off. They can't get anything from the church. And yet this was just my personal vision. And I'm taking money from them. I'm going to step down. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to be a part of the problem. What can I do to be a part of the solution?
Wow.
That was I said, I'm gonna go get a job.
Yeah.
I did. I stepped out of that and I just went and became a teacher at that time.
So did you leave seminary then, or did you?
I finished it. No, I finished. I finished it.
Okay.
I did. I
Right.
like the best time. To be honest, going to seminary like sowed a seed for me even leaving because of all the things that I learned, things that they teach you. And I'll tell you this, most pastors do know it. They know it. They know that it's not required. But if they tell the people that, they won't give. They think that because they don't have faith, like they're teaching their people to do. They don't have faith, they're not walking by faith, they're not trusting God. They're trusting in the people.
What would you say? I'm gonna ask your thoughts and opinions on this because I know we don't know everybody's and how everybody operate.
Right.
But how do you feel? Do you think a lot of the pastors are using that tithing money for their life expenses when they buy these, high-end cars and all that? Do you say that? I know a lot of them write books and that, but still that's coming from the followers that they brought into the church who are buying those things. So do you think that they're using some of that tithing money for their life?
Of course. No, of course.
Are you looking at me like,
yeah, of course. Yeah, because they feel they're entitled to it because they're doing the work of the Lord. And so they feel like this is what I'm supposed to have. And I will tell you, not every pastor. I went to a church in Marble Hills, I think, no, Marble Falls in around Austin area to go speak. They called me in to speak and sing. And I went there, I'm like, okay, I want to meet the pastor. And they said the pastor's not here. I was like, where is he at? They're like, he's on vacation with his family because he works a full-time job and he does not get paid. He doesn't get a salary. And I
Wow.
said, really? And that means that he has the freedom to, if he wants to take off, he can take off, and other ministers will minister in his place. So I think his name was on the everything, and he was the pastor. But other people would preach, and he did not get a check. He worked a full-time job. So not every pastor is like that. That was the only one I've heard in my whole 25, 30-year career. But of course they are. Not all of them, but of course, because that's their job to them.
So what do you feel when people justify that and say, well, you know, the money we give Jay-Z, he buys cars with it and houses and planes. So why not the money we give the pastors?
Because Jay-Z doesn't put your soul as a condition of going to heaven and hell on it. It's just you're buying his product. It's different. Like if you don't give to the church and you're not doing this, your soul is at stake. That's the difference. And that's the evil to me is if I don't tithe, I'm cursed with a curse. And know your Bible, Jesus became a curse. That's a whole nother story. Curse with what curse? And so that's where I stand with that. Oh, we can go there, but yeah, that's a big difference from people in the so-called world doing it and you doing it in the church, because you're telling me to give out of fear-based giving, when he said give according to the abundance of your heart, give according to your heart's desire, not out of obligation. I mean, it's right there. It says not give out of necessity. We need $500 for the building fund this week. And so now I'm giving out of necessity instead of just giving because I'm led to give.
I just saw where a guy posted that he needed $40 million. Well, you probably think I'm about to say, was it 4 million? Okay, you saw it too then. So he said, I need 4 million and I need 2,100 people to give $2,100 or something like that. Or 2,100 people to give something like that. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think about that? Because people are saying you should do it, you know. Now he's standing in a church when he said it. You know, the bishop, I mean, the guy out in Houston, what's the white guy's name? That everybody loved?
Joel Osteen?
Joel Osteen. He was standing in Joel Osteen pulpit because I think he was using his church. So I'm thinking, Osteen got 4 million. Can he just, that's what they do. They be writing checks to everybody, right? So I remember that, you know, I used to see when Tyler Perry wrote $1 million check to TD Jakes, and TD Jakes wrote $1 million check to such and such. And I'm not, all I'm saying is, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, because I just think
he probably got the 4 million himself. I would say to the people, you know, because pastors, I'm going to say men like that they're always going to exist. My plea is to the people is to think for yourself and if you can give $2,100, and some of them can't, whatever, because remember he said the Lord told him, then he said the Lord came back and corrected what the Lord himself had said. But anyway, so people, if the people cannot give that kind of money, let me put it like this. There are people that are given to churches and have never invested in themselves. They don't have 2 months worth of salary saved. They don't even have 3 months, 6 months, but they will go and give $2,100 to a place. But yet you have no financial stability for yourself.
Why is that though? Where where is that conditioning? I know we said it started back during slavery, but is that the same conditioning just going down through generations?
As far as what, if you give, you'll be blessed?
Yeah. To give more to the church than you do to yourself, to not even work on the inner person yourself. You're not even developing that person. You'll turn around and give everything you have to the pastor.
Correct.
Quickly, I want to talk to you guys about a foundation called Viva Se Amina. This foundation is dedicated to improving the mental health of eliminating the stress and anxiety that happens when athletes transfer to meaningful career opportunities after they complete their time in sports. You know, the foundation believes in empowering these athletes to drive beyond the field, court, or arena. Because that transition can be overwhelming sometimes as they navigate the shift from having a spotlight as an athlete to uncertainties of post-retirement life. So your support is very instrumental. Check us out. Every donation is directly impacts these individuals. So go to this link and check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, that is it goes back down to fear. It's fear-based that if you don't give, you're going to be cursed. You're going to go to hell because you're not giving to God. And that's what's being passed down is fear. Everything is based out of fear that my car is going to break down if I don't give, if I don't tithe. And so when I look at somebody even contemplating to give $2,100, do you have money saved up for your children? Can you just go buy something that you need? Do you have a year's salary? What about you? Have you invested in your own self? Do you even have any investments? Have you started a business? But yet you will go put it into somebody else's business, somebody else's vision. I have a problem with that.
Which is a business because the churches run, it has to run like a business because there's the only thing going to keep it going. But we don't look at it like that. We look at it as if, God has mandated almost that we do these things.
Not what the scripture says, though. That's
wow.
Not what the scripture says at all. And so Black people, I'll just talk to my people, we're so conditioned to have someone over us. Some people say slavery didn't even happen, but most of us in our conscious, in our minds, we believe that, slavery happened, and we're so conditioned to have somebody lead us. And that comes from that time. We have to have a leader or we don't know what to do, or we don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how to live. We don't know how to be blessed unless this man tells us how to be. And that's where I come with my life work, is teaching people how to think for themselves, live intuitively. Does that make sense for me to give you $2,100? I'm from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got their houses ripped up, not everybody.
Yeah. A lot of people did. Yeah.
People that you're asking, and then you hear that an insurance check is coming. Think for yourself.
That's another thing I thought about too. Right. Insurance is coming. They're going to take care of that. What are they going to do? He going to get that back once he get his insurance?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I just want the people. And so I don't have to talk about these pastors. Everybody knows what they're doing. I want to talk to the people. I need you to think for yourself. You're trying to gather all this money to give $2,100. If you lost your job today or your spouse, do you have enough money? No, they will say no, they don't. They don't even have money saved. They're living paycheck to paycheck now. They're on extensions and payment plans now, but you're looking to give so that I can be blessed. Your blessing is right there in your hands.
Right. And I can kind of understand it because myself, for 12 years, I was that person. Not that I did tithing a lot, but not that I would give, but that whole belief in that. I remember my uncle, who I call, he's passed since then, but he was we used to call him in the family the cussing preacher. So my uncle just always tell me, he said, let's see, how would he say it? He said, after a while, you're gonna get over that shit. What I'm saying? You just caught up in it right now. He's like, I was like, and then at one point I did. It's like I got to a point where I'm like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. This is just not adding up. I'm not talking about financially. I'm just talking about the things they're saying and how people are acting to it. And it's like, at that point, I'm like, man, like you, I hadn't stepped in any of those buildings since then, so, but somebody would say, well, you need to, and I'm like, no.
Here's the thing, Tony, think about this. And just look at our people. They've been in the churches, for many, many, many years, giving, but they're still broke.
That was my point.
In debt.
That was my point.
So something doesn't add up. Your wealth, your finances, it's been in your hands and you're giving it away.
Well, you know what they would say?
What?
You're just not putting forth the effort. You're not, you're not doing it the right way. You just pulled your seed up because you gave, and then you turn around and you just snatched up your seed. You can't, so you're like, oh God, I just snatched up my seed. Now I got to, no,
you're putting your seed in soil that is not conducive. That's the thing. You're
put it in quicksand.
Right. You're not putting it in good soil. That's not coming back to you. Right. And you're giving it out of you're not giving correct. No, you're not giving correctly. And so when I stopped tithing, I started giving to people directly. So I never stopped giving.
That's me.
Right,
I've been doing that for years now.
I got out of debt when I left the church. I bought my first. No,
Oh my God!
I did. And
That
people
is,
say, people get in the comments, people that know me, it's all documented. I mean, it's
yeah.
just 2024. I bought my first house 7 years ago. It was a nice Perry home when I was back in Rich. I sold it to come here to Dallas. A brand new Perry home. And for a single mom of 2 small kids, a $300,000 house that I bought by myself, no co-signer. I bought that house, stayed in there for 2-3 years till I moved here. And I was able to save up 10 grand for a down payment because I stopped tithing. And then I gave to widows. Like, I got convicted. Like, I would be passing
I'm
by.
trying not to get lightning strike me, so I'm
Oh,
because
right.
lightning about to come at you now. You got to say that.
Hey, I'm not scared. I
Yeah.
would drive by this man. He was a widow. Every time I would go to church, and I would just be tired and giving. And I just got convicted. It's like, this man's wife just died. He don't have no food, no nothing. And so I was in that transition of, stopping the tithing. And so me and some other people that were deconstructing, our faith, we started giving to him, and we started giving directly to people that had a need and cutting out the middleman. Because I've been in churches where I was a musician and they put up pictures of mission. And I know I'm in the meetings. We're not giving to no missions. We're not sending no money to nobody's Africa. We're not. We're not. Stop it. I'm getting paid. You're getting paid. If your wife's on staff, secretary's getting paid. Stop it. And you got all these big belly kids up on the screen, and we're not sending them nothing. So,
oh my God! Now you really looking for that lightning, but so
here go my keyboard over here. I'm playing the music.
We got
to summons the people's spirit and get them emotionally charged.
Yeah, we got to get to that too, and before we wrap it up, because I saw your skills.
Yeah,
man, I always wanted to learn how to play the piano.
Yeah,
and I saw you. I'm like,
I manifested that. I didn't know how to play the piano. I manifested that too when I was 15.
Wow.
I did. I would just go to church and I would just watch my cousin play. My mom had an organ. She could just read music. I would just watch her play. And then I would go home and just play by ear because I didn't read music. And I can read it, but I don't. I play by ear. And I would just do it. And I would just watch her hands and I would say, I'm going to be up there one day. So one day, it was weeks of me doing that. She came to me and she said, Dorian, do you know how to play? I said, no, but I just watch you. And I manifested myself playing the piano. And then she started giving me formal lessons and teaching me what the notes were and what the chords were.
So let's get back up with the manifestation, because you really have rocked my world with the inside of the church, which I already knew that, but now you're confirming a lot of stuff. Hey, I already knew that was going on, but back to the manifestation. And, a lot of people use that. They use that term all the time, and but are they really doing that? I'm like, so you're saying that manifestation is something that almost a miracle. It's like a miracle happening, because it's something that if your situation, the way your situation is, whatever that manifestation wouldn't have happened, normally it wouldn't happen that way. Right. And so your thoughts, your words, go ahead. I'm sorry. Maybe you can ask what I'm trying to say.
It was a miracle then, but it's not supposed to be a miracle. We're supposed to live this way every day.
Right.
We're co-creators. You say you have a creator. And so it seems like a miracle, but it really should be everyday life. We create our reality. When something pops up, something happens, or even if nothing is happening, you just decide, this is what I desire. This is what I want for your life work, or for your personal life. So it shouldn't really be a miracle. We're supposed to live this way.
You speak in the future. Like you're waking up every day and you're creating your future by your thoughts, your visions, and all that kind of stuff. So, but that ain't as simple kind of as how you just said it, because, it's almost like you have to like focus on that. I also always tell my pastor when I moved from the bigger church to the smaller church, which I thought it was going to be a lot easier there but then he had me doing everything because they was the one they saw pointing me out to do stuff. But I used to say to him on Bible study, I said, now, let me ask you this. All right. So let's say I went to church on Wednesday nights. I think Tuesday nights was our Bible study. Sundays, and I got the message.
Mhm.
I said, okay. So that was 4 hours, maybe Tuesday night, and then Sunday 2 hours. That's 4 hours. Okay. If I want that to stick, I can't go the rest of the week watching television, listening to this and all that. I mean, because that's whatever you hear the most is going to outweigh everything.
Mhm.
So how do you expect people who do this to really get what you're trying to say and get that part of it in you if you're only doing
Right.
4 hours a week?
Yeah, I don't expect them to get it. And that's why they don't. And that's why they keep going back to Sunday and Wednesday, still looking for a miracle, still giving all their money away, sowing a $30 seed for 30
Right.
days
Right.
because they don't understand the principle. And the pastors, those leaders, they're not teaching them that. They're teaching them to be codependent on the word that I'm going to bring forth on Sunday. They're waiting for the man of God to give it to them and do it for them. And that's why I don't expect them to. That's what manifestation is more to me. It's about taking it into your hands and making it happen for yourself because he's already done it. You know, even like that song, Lord, do it for me. I get it. But it's already done.
Right.
Church people, are some of the laziest people.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because that's the way that we have been conditioned. You come to me and I give you your word, and now you just wait on God to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You have to take more of an active role in creating your reality and speak it because the scripture tells you, you have whatsoever you say, speak to the mountain. It gives you things to do.
Right.
Speak to these dry bones so that they can leave. We're not speaking. We just say, I'm waiting on God. I'm believing God. And I used to be in that. So no judgment. I'm just saying, I'm the reason why I can say that because they come from me. That's new
Right.
age. She believe in energy. Okay, your creator created energy. So we can't use what he created when he said, let there be this. And then he saw that it was good. I'm just going by what y'all say y'all believe. So if he's the creator and he created energy, so energy must be good. So let me use it.
You know, between 93 and I would say 2002, something like that, you couldn't come to me and talk to me about anything when it came to the church and the word because I was so locked. The way I do business is the way I did church. I was so locked in. I was Friday, Wednesday, Sunday, Friday, and I drove across town. You had to park a mile away to walk to it, and I was so locked in on it. And when the realization hit, the truth hit, like my cousin preacher uncle used to say, "It's gonna hit you one day." That's how he used to say, "It's gonna hit you." And when it hit me, it's like it's hardly anything a person can say to me now,
right,
about that because I've lived it. I did it. I did it. Got the T-shirt. I did all of it. And you can't say I did it wrong because I did it. I did it. And so it's amazing how I think what it is that, like you said, we want the easy way out. It's easier to do that. It's easier to say those things. It's easier to won't he do it? It's easier to, instead of you putting the manifestation work in to do it. It's just easier to say that.
But we're not taught and trained that we have to do that. And so we go through, like you said, that Monday and Tuesday, and then we wait for Wednesday to get another hit to get, and then
every time the door open.
Yeah, we in there with our hands up and our money out, ready to receive, but we haven't used these hands to do the work. We have faith, but we have no works. And the work is this: it is seeing, it is speaking. And if you talk about, well, what about obstacles or challenges? I don't see those. That's the work right there. Is when something comes up against it, you're still speaking, you're still writing, you're still going and making the phone calls, you're still going to get the DBA in spite of, you're still doing the work throughout the week. You can go get these mighty words all you want to, but like you said, they're not doing anything with it. And one of the saddest things that I saw last week was this lady, she goes to church, like she's a church lady, like Sunday, whenever, believes in all the things she gives to the church fund, the pastor fund, the parking lot fund, the pew fund, any fund she's giving. But she came to me and she's like, I'm so sick, like sickness in her body. Like I have this, she had like 3 or 4 different diseases. And so we talked about fasting. We talked about different things that she should be doing. And basically she overeats, but you go to church and she's 65. You go to church but you're full of sickness, and she's been sick since I've known her. And she's been broke, barely getting by. But you go to church. That's the issue that I have.
I'm gonna tell you another issue I got since we talking about this now. I mean, the leader of your church, the people that the person you believe in, or whether it's a he or a she, most of them are not even healthy, and they don't even talk about health. And you got people, you go to funerals of people who died of maybe cancer or something that's caused by them not eating the right way, not living the right way, and then we go back to the church and eat the stuff that caused the cancer, because they say, well, it was genes passed down. No, it was your lifestyle.
Okay. And even if it was genes passed down, manifest that out of your body. I mean, change your habits. You can even change your DNA. We don't go, that's all.
But I'm saying, why would they look at the congregation and know that these people need to be more healthier? They need, and well, not just the them. Why would they? What?
Because I'm not here. One pastor said, I'm not here for their physical bodies. I'm here for their soul. Well, I said, well, they're going to get there quicker wherever they're going, because you're not allowing people that are even skilled and have the wisdom and the talent and the knowledge to help the people. But it's job security. They need them to stay sick so they can get in that prayer line. They can keep sowing that seed for their healing versus teaching them about healing. But like you said, if they're not doing it themselves, and I have a video on my page, you probably saw that too, and where pastors told me to shut the HELL up and told me.
I was looking for that video. I couldn't find it.
I'll clip it. Yeah, it's called four leaders told me to shut the, one of them told me that, the other one just told me shut up. One told me to shut the hell up because I wasn't qualified to talk to leaders, even though I'm ordained minister, all that, I don't know when I did that video last year, but they told me, you're not qualified to talk about the people getting healthy. What are you talking about? I was talking about the leaders. I was talking to them that, when they walking back and forth on the stage, all we see is belly. They're huffing and puffing, sweating. And it's not about people, I got thyroid. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people that gluttony, that are not taking care of themselves, and they're just there for for the souls of the people. I'm not concerned about their health. Then you don't love the people. I mean, it's in the scripture, gluttony, taking that your body is a temple, and you're getting mad at me, telling me I'm disqualified. No, you're disqualified, because Paul said, I beat my body into subjection. Paul said, you disqualify yourself. They don't know the scriptures like they think they know the scriptures.
I'm going to tell you something right quick. I'm going to try to abbreviate this thing. Church is a church out in Austell, Georgia. This was 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Went to the church, had a health product that I wanted. His lady in the church was taking it. She loved it. Come talk to the pastor. Pastor shows up. He tells me, he said, my brother, I see that. That's good. That's your thing. He said, but you can't bring your thing in here. I've been building this congregation up for a while. I got my residual coming in. I can't have you coming in pitching that. He literally said that to me. So he's from Detroit. He got a church. He probably still got that church, it's out in Austell. So if any of y'all know, I ain't saying the name, but he literally said that. He said, man, take your hustle somewhere else. And the lady was disappointed because she didn't hear what he said, because I didn't say anything. I just left. But that was his game. I'm like, God dang.
Somewhere else. Wow.
Yeah, he was on television too.
I'm not making it up. It's true. But some of it is out of ego, because somebody else knows something I don't know. And I don't want the people to start looking towards them or looking towards Tony and his product.
Yeah.
But I get that. But that's why I don't care about their egos. I don't care about their titles. I don't care about anything. I care about people. Right. And I just got tired, and still to this day, tired of seeing people invest all their time, money, and resources in a place that's not giving back to them.
Yeah.
I can't even get healthy in this place. I'm not even successfully wealthy going to this place. So why are we doing it?
Wow. So give me the 5 most important things when it comes to manifestation that a person needs to know.
Number 1, that you're going to have to let go of, you have to keep count for me. Number 1, you have to let go of old beliefs. You're going to have to you're going to be faced with that. An old, especially if you're churchy and you're religious, You're going to have to let go of some things that you've been taught and open yourself up. You know, like I said, people hear me say energy or even the word manifestation, you know, they shut down. And so they create blocks themselves. So that's one thing, is that you will have to let go of old beliefs.
Okay.
Another one is, I don't see, like I said earlier, I don't see challenges. I don't see, that's the way you manifest is, it's okay. For example, if you start manifesting money, something could come in that is the opposite of what you're manifesting. And now you think it doesn't work. We have to remember there are two programs running in us. That old program is running, and now you're trying to introduce a new program. You have to keep this new one going, and eventually the old will, you know, dissipate. So that could be number two, is you got two programs running. So yes, it's going to seem like, well, the sickness is not leaving. I've been saying it for a week. Well,
Right.
for years you've been saying, oh, my gout, you know, oh, my diabetes. You've been, and and that's another one. I don't know if it's number three, but I don't say things like that. My allergies are acting up. Why are you claiming that? You mean these allergies are leaving my body. These, you know, these allergies have left my body. Another thing I do, I'll just keep naming them, is
But back to number two right quick. When you said that, and it pictured, I did an example of this a while back, and it made me think of that, where you take a glass of dirty water and you put it under the sink and you put in clean water.
Yeah.
It has to flush all that dirty out. So if the clean water keep coming in,
yes,
the new stuff,
yes,
the new verbiage, the new words,
yes.
eventually the dirt is going. That's what you're saying on number two, right?
That's the most powerful thing right there. That's the most powerful thing, is you have to flush it. So people have been saying and acting a certain way for 20 years. Then they do this for 2 weeks and they're tired. And that's when they just go to church and just give me a miracle, give me a, just, you know, they just do that and just want to get it. But no, but you, right. All the tears and snot.
Right.
It is, but you had no problem saying, girl, I ain't got it. Girl, I'm broke. I don't get paid
for years.
Yeah, you'll say that easily, but you won't say, I'm abundant. Cash flows to me all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, I always say this. People swear, oh, I don't do affirmations. No, what you don't do is positive affirmation. What you're thinking is you don't read from a sheet.
Right.
No, you don't do that. But every word come out your mouth is an affirmation.
It is. And that's that word alone. Oh,
yeah, I don't do no affirmation. I don't do
affirmation. That's that new age. Well, you need a new age because you've been broke and you've been sick for years. You need to open up to a new age.
All right, so we got 3. Give me 2 more. I keep interrupting. 5 things that will help with the manifestation process. You know, what else?
Here's a good one, is who you surround yourself with.
Environment.
Yeah, you're going to have to change your environment. And like I just made a video this morning, I think, or yesterday, where if you want to just, it don't have to be a car, a house, or thing like, it could be, I need to stop gossiping about people. I just talk so bad about people. If you're in a group chat of people that's what they do, remove yourself from the group chat. You're going to have to change your environment in order for it. I mean, I moved the whole zip code just to get away from limited thinking and, limited, mindset. So environment, who you're around. And you also have to be willing, this could be aid to that. You also have to be willing to speak up. And some people don't like doing that. Some people have never been confrontational a day in their life. But when it comes to manifesting, you have to speak up. If someone's like, man, they're gonna lay all of us off. My job is protected if you want to work there. Stuff like that. That doesn't apply to me.
Yeah. I don't know what y'all about to do, but I'm gonna be.
But I'm protected. I'm gonna be taken care of.
Exactly.
That means the better is coming for me. So being willing to speak up for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to be a part of that collective energy. You're going to be a part of the collective, and then it's going to impact you and affect you. Because I know I had to let 2 friends go because it seemed like their car was always breaking down, flats and dryers breaking down. And that didn't happen to me until I started, kind of being, maybe that stuff don't happen to me. And so being willing to release friends and family, even family, and surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
So how do you get your new, I guess, new associates, new friends, and outside of the church now? So how do you, okay.
Two things. When you really change on the inside and you say that I'm going to speak differently, you're going to attract it automatically. It's nothing that you have to go online and I need new friends that think, you're
Right,
going to
right.
attract it. It's going to come to you. And you're going to automatically attract it because you're changing your energy, you're changing your spirit, if you want to say that. Or number two, you call it in. I call in new associates. I call in new friends that are like-minded like me. Or you just say it, I have new friends. And you're going to go on Facebook, you're going to see somebody just like me and you. We were drawn to each other because we're like-minded. And you found me, I know you now, and that's how you can also get to your community and find your tribe. There's groups on Facebook, there's people that meet once a month, twice a month. You just call that into you and then you're automatically going to be drawn to it.
Right. Because you drew me in from the information that you had out on YouTube. So I ran across you. I'm like, oh,
right.
I like what she's saying.
Yeah, we'll always find each other. We'll find our tribe. But just if you into crack or you into some kind of drug, you're gonna find a crack dealer. You're gonna, I don't know anything about like if you're a homosexual or if you're a lesbian, how do you know if somebody? It's like they just know. It's just like
they can tell.
Like, they can tell.
Right.
Yeah, one of mine.
Right. Just like when I heard your stuff, I was like, this is the stuff that I need to hear more of.
You put out a vibe. That's a whole nother word.
The vibe.
Vibe is vibration. And that's like words like manifestation, affirmation, vibration. That's a no-no to the religious community. But they'll say, oh, I like her vibe. You're saying I like her vibration. I like how she's putting out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think people even know vibe is the vibration. They just think that's just a
like
word they use. Yeah.
Like a hip word, but no, that's vibration.
So tell me this, man. We already jumped in the hour now, so I can't hold you much longer. But why do people oppose manifestation? Is it just the word? So if you start saying, I got it through faith, or I'm gonna believe, more people would. Why do people oppose manifestation so much? What is it that?
There's several reasons. Lack of knowledge. They don't know anything about it. And the Bible says that you judge things that you don't understand. And so there's a lack of knowledge. They haven't done their research to know that pretty much everything that I say is in that book that they don't read. Number two is fear. No, seriously, it's fear-based.
They've been going to church for 50 years, so they don't actually read the book. They just
no, they wait for the pastor to do it.
Okay,
and give them their word.
Okay,
and it tells you to speak. It tells you that life and death is in the power of your tongue. It's to speak to the mountains so they can be moved. Speak to the dry bones so they can live. It tells you that. So that's all I'm saying is speak and say. So it's a lack of knowledge. It's fear that because people say, "Oh, that's new age" and things like that, and I just created an affirmation intention deck, and people say, "Oh, that's tarot cards." Ain't no tarot. What are you talking about? It's literally teaching you how to speak versus just saying, I'm wealthy. I give you specific things to say. I don't know if I brought them in here with me. I give you specific things to say and how to change your verbiage instead of saying, I ain't got it. I don't get paid. I teach you in my abundance deck of cards how to speak. They're intention cards. I set my intention. I intend for this to happen for me. So it's fear. That's why they won't do it. And then some of them oppose it because now everybody got to be sick sometime in their life. Everybody's going to die of something. Now we've been called to suffer. You're going to be broke. Because of those limiting beliefs, that they oppose it and they feel like everybody's going to die of something. I got myself off of high blood pressure medication. And people don't know that I used to be a little bit bigger. And I had I had a whole weight loss journey and fasting and all the things that I did to get to where I'm at now. And I got myself off of blood pressure medication, got myself off of allergy medicine because of manifestation and setting my intent and stop calling them my allergies. Those are not mine. And here's the thing, Tony, I'm just, because they go to these buildings and they talk about healing. And I'm showing you how to heal because there's more ways to heal. No, you need the pastor to lay hands on you and all the things. Okay, Jesus spit on the ground and he healed somebody. He spoke one time and just said, just walk and you're going to be healed. He told somebody else, just go home. Your daughter's going to be alive. Another way he healed, the lady just touched the hem of the garment. It's all in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's different ways to heal, to be healed. And so that's why a lot of people oppose it because they're afraid. if it's not the pastor doing it, and if it's not in the four walls, then that's not of God.
All right. So how can we reach you? Give us your website and all your social media sites.
Ooh,
I know you
Lord,
got a lot of them.
I do. Where I write it at? Where I put it? I have, you can go to iamdorian.com. I am, that's my name, Dorian, Dorian. Iamdorian.com.
Okay.
And I am Dorian Marie. I'm out there as You Living Intuitively. That's my page where I do all of my.
That's Instagram, all right? Or is that
That's
Facebook
all of
too?
them. All Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. 4 different platforms.
And it's, what is it? You Living.
You Living Intuitively, teaching people how to
Is
live.
it the letter U or Y-O-U?
The letter U. The letter U.
You Living
Intuitively. Yes, and if you do go
now,
to my
intuitively, that's a big word now. People they can get confused looking, trying to Google that and go
intuitive, like your intuition. Use, that's what I was talking about with the pastor, use your intuition and think. We don't think for ourselves. We want everybody else, we want these leaders and everybody else to think for us. And that's why we don't have the breakthrough.
Well, Val, I know Val's over there typing it up now. So we're going to see if she can put it on the screen right quick before we leave today. You Living Intuitively is the
I'm gonna type it in there too.
Okay, you type it in there too. Yeah. IamDorian.com is the website.
Yes.
And You Living Intuitively are the social medias.
Mm-hmm. And then I have my other channel, my music channel, I Am Dorian Marie. I can put that in there too. And then my newest channel that may scare off the church folks is the Intuitive Intuitions. That's where I focus on my intention cards and teach people how to set intentions and how to speak affirmations.
Okay. One quick question though. At one point you got off of social media altogether and disappeared for like 3 years or something.
Yeah.
And what brought you back? Why did you?
That's when I left the church. I had left the church and I went through a 2-year just going within, like, do I like you, God? Do I know you? Do I love you? Who are you? What, just going through that 2 years. And so I got off social media. And when I left, I was first lady, praise and worship leader, psalmist, prophetic psalmist, all the things. And so then I came back after, I got all the revelations I needed. I got back on social media with a wife beater on, and I was singing Best Part by Daniel Caesar. And I'm talking about like when I was a prophetic worship, like I was I was in there,
Right.
The Best Part with a wife beater on.
She done lost her mind. She has gone crazy.
Yes, they were in my inbox. What about the Shekinah glory on your life? What about the anointing? And what they don't understand is why I did that song is because the download and the message that was given to me is, and people need another playlist. And so that's why my album is called My Other Playlist, is especially Christians, because all they do is listen to gospel music. And mainly my message was for people that are in relationships, married or whatever your relationship, and all you listen to is gospel music and you wonder why your marriages and relationships, and I'm talking for myself, I was married for 7 years. We didn't go on one date. We didn't listen to outside like secular music. It was always Take Me to the King, what we singing for.
Wait a minute now. What I realized after years, that is gospel music really gospel music, or is it secular music behind the scenes, or secular music pretending to be gospel music? Because when I realized what was going on with a lot of the gospel singers and musicians, they were pretty much secular.
True. So are you saying that you think that it's not gospel music? What are you saying? What are you asking?
I'm saying that I think that the gospel music that person is singing is not that person. I think that I felt like when I realized what was going on, I felt like those same people could be doing secular music, and it wouldn't,
Oh yes. And like even the musician that's working on my current album, they do lo-fi, neo soul. They don't just play gospel music. They're a musician. And that's what, when I came back, because I was imbalanced. All I did was gospel music. And people would ask me, have you heard this song? No, I know what that is. If it ain't, John P.
I had given away all my stuff. I went to the pawn shop and just gave it to people. I'm like, hold on. Dang.
Right,
I
right,
gave away some classic stuff. So.
right. And see all these albums back here. My dad passed away. All this Marvin
Right.
Gaye, Stevie Wonder. It's like the good stuff back there.
Oh wow.
Right. It's like stuff that
When I heard you playing that piano, it just made me think about Stevie. I mean, because that's what. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Right.
We can stop. We can talk all day. So, all right, wrap it up. Give us 1 minute of why, I don't know, why people need to do the manifestation thing. Why? What is that? I mean, why should the people? And I know what it is, but why should a person, learn to manifest?
Because they're tired. They're sick and tired. They're not happy. They're depressed, and they don't have to be. That's just a simple answer. You don't like your life. You don't like how it is. And even if you do, you can always manifest more and better or bigger. And it's not about just money. It's about why you were placed here. If you can't even help people if you're broke, sick, tired. So you're not even fulfilling your purpose. So that's why you should do it. So you can actually fulfill the purpose that you're here. And it takes resources. It takes you being healthy. Some of people can't even do what they need to do because they're either overweight, they're sick, they don't feel good. So that's why you need to do it, is because what you have been doing is obviously not working. When church people are coming to me for answers, but you got a whole pastor who you sow and give to. So that's why they need to do it, because they're not happy.
Wow. Well, we hadn't. Yeah, thank you. We're gonna do this again. So, Valerie, give her another round of applause, please, because we can't let her get away without. So we're gonna do this again. So, but we got to end it now, man. And thank you again. It's been another episode of Elite Psyche, the Mental Toughness Show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff. And look, get in the comments and talk about this episode. Ask questions that we can come back and answer. Give your thoughts on it, because I know we good at giving thoughts on religious stuff. So give your thoughts on it. Let's talk about it, and we're gonna have you back. All right, ma'am.
Okay, that will work. I put the wrong thing in there. I was putting my YouTube in there. My music page is I am Dorian Marie. There you go.
You got it?
I did. Yes, and I'm gonna put my third one in there too. The ones that people, y'all better go and get your life right. Good intentions. Yes, that's where they can go and learn.
Once they start searching, it's gonna come up. They're gonna find it because it's out there.
It's awesome. One page will lead you to the other three.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you. All right, we out of here. I can talk. If I say, you know what, we'll talk again. So no, let's go. I gotta go. All right. Thank you. Bye.